For as long as I can remember, fitting in has been difficult for me. When I was younger, I lived in a housing complex where I often felt like the odd one out. The other children seemed to connect easily with each other, while I struggled to understand why I was always left behind. One memory that still stays with me happened when we were cycling together. I was still learning and used balancing wheels on my bicycle. The other kids were embarrassed by that and rode away without me. I remember trying my best to keep up, but they didn't slow down or wait. As a child, that experience made me feel ashamed of something that was completely normal, learning at my own pace. Another incident happened during a game of hide and seek. I accidentally revealed where one of the boys was hiding. He became very upset with me. I was young and didn't know how to explain myself or express what I was feeling, so I started crying. I remember standing there with tears in my eyes, watching everyone continue playing as if I wasn't there. At the time, it felt like my feelings didn't matter. There were also birthday parties and gatherings where I often felt excluded. Sometimes I wasn't included in games, and other times I got the feeling that people wanted me to leave so they could continue without me. Looking back now, I understand that children don't always realize the impact their actions can have on others. But those experiences affected me deeply. They shaped how I viewed myself and made me question whether I belonged anywhere. I'm sharing this story not to blame anyone, but because I know there are people watching who may have felt left out, ignored, or different. If that's you, please know that your worth isn't determined by whether a group accepts you. Sometimes being different doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, it simply means you're on a different path. And while those experiences hurt, they also taught me empathy. I know what exclusion feels like, which is why I try my best to make others feel included today. By 2022, the impact of years of feeling excluded had started to catch up with me. I was struggling with severe depression, although at the time it had not yet been recognized or diagnosed. Looking back, I realize I was in a very dark place emotionally. During that period, I experienced thoughts of ending my life and went through a mental health crisis. Around that time, my family moved to a new housing complex. To this day, I am grateful to my parents for making that decision. The change of environment gave me a chance to start over, and I genuinely believe it helped me move toward a healthier place mentally. Unfortunately, things weren't much easier at school. In my class, there often seemed to be an unspoken social divide. There was a large group of students who were considered popular, while others, including me, often felt like outsiders. I didn't always fit the image of what was considered cool. I wasn't very active on social media, I didn't focus on popularity, and my interests were different from those of many of my classmates. In an environment where social status sometimes felt important, those differences made me feel isolated. Whether people were actually judging me or whether my depression made me believe they were, I honestly don't know. What I do know is that I constantly felt watched, criticized, and left out. I often felt as though I didn't belong anywhere. Depression has a way of convincing you that everyone dislikes you, that you're a burden, or that you're somehow different from everyone else. Looking back now, I can see that my mind was not always showing me reality accurately. But at the time, those feelings were very real and very painful. One of the hardest parts was feeling alone. I was surrounded by people every day, yet I felt disconnected from almost everyone around me. I'm sharing this not because I want sympathy or because I want to blame anyone. I'm sharing it because mental health struggles can be invisible. Someone can appear completely normal on the outside while fighting battles that nobody else can see. If you're watching this and you've ever felt like you don't fit in, you're not alone. And if you're struggling, please reach out to someone you trust. Things can improve, even when it feels impossible to believe they will.